Hello everyone, welcome to Geeks for Geeks. I am Chaitanya Munje, and in this video we will be creating a simple sticky notes application in Android. In this application we will be displaying a widget to display the note which we saved inside our application. Along with that we will be also adding some text editing functionalities such as to increase the text size, make it bold, italic and underline inside our application. So here is the application which I have already created. I will show you the demo. So first of all we will add the widget. So here is the widget for our application. Now we will go inside our application and save our note. Inside this we will add our note. Here we can add the font, that is make it bold. We can add underline to it. Along with that we can also make it italic. Other than that we can also change the size of our text view and we can increase it. Now we will save our text. After that we will get to see this note in our widget. So here is the note which we have saved. Along with that we can also resize our widget. So here we can get to see we can resize our widget according to our requirement. Now let's move towards creating this application. So first of all we will go to our Android Studio and create a new project. We will select as an empty activity, click on next, specify project name as sticky notes and make sure to select Java as a programming language. Click on finish to create your new Android Studio project. Now our project has been ready. So here we will get to see two files, that is main activity.java file and activity_main.xml. So first of all we will move towards creating the widget and then we will move towards activity_main.xml for the main part. So for creating our widget which we have to display like this one widget, we will first of all create a layout file to display this widget. So for creating a layout file we simply have to go to the res folder, then layout folder, right click on it, then new, and we simply have to click on layout resource file. Inside this we have to name it as a widget layout, specify root element as frame layout, then click on OK to create this layout file. Inside this layout file we simply have to display one single text view. Now in this our frame layout has been already created. First of all we will add ID to our frame layout. That is widget layout. Inside this we will specify orientation as horizontal and padding as 8 dp. Inside our frame layout we will create a linear layout, specify width and height as match parent and orientation as vertical. Inside this we will create our text view, specify width and height as wrap content. We will add ID as IDTV widget. We will set text as set your note, specify text size as 20 sp. Now we will add color. So for this we will move towards colors.xml file and add colors inside this. Navigate to values folder inside res folder, then click on colors to open the colors file. Inside this, we will change our colors. We will change color here as well. Now we will add colors. First one will be our background color, that is back color. Then similarly, we will be creating a new color, that is color 2. We will name it as a tab color, as it will be for our floating action button, which we will be displaying inside our application. Here we will add the color for this one. Then we will add a yellow color, which will be for our text view. Now this much colors are sufficient. Now we will move towards our widget layout, and here we will change the background. We will change it as a back color. Inside this, we will specify text color as yellow. Now for displaying this widget, we will create a new Java class inside which we can inflate this layout file and display it inside our home screen, that is for displaying the widget here. So for that, we will simply go to our Java folder, then your package name, then right click on it, click on new, click on Java class, and we have to name our class as app widget. This will inflate the layout file which we have created. Now Android provides a service app widget provider class. With the help of that class, we can add the layout file which we have to display. So for that, we simply have to extend this class with app widget provider. Inside this, we have to call onUpdate method. Now inside this class, we will simply run a for loop, that is app widgets, app widget ID, and here we will check for app widget IDs. Inside this, we will create an intent, that is this intent will be open when we click on our widget. Here, on clicking on this widget, we will get to see that our application has been opened. Similarly, for opening this intent, we have to create an intent and open it. So for this, we will create a variable for intent, that is launch intent, and we have to open our main activity. So first of all, we will pass here our context, and we will pass the activity name, that is main activity dot class. After that, we have to simply create a variable for pending intent. These are the request code, so we will pass it as a 0. After that, we will create a variable for remote views. Remote views is generally used to inflate the layout file which we have created. And inside this, we will pass our context with package name and the layout file which we have to inflate. that is widget layout. After that, inside the remote views, we will add on click pending intent. Here we have to add the ID for our text view, that is widget TV, and we have to pass our pending intent. After that, we simply have to call app widget manager and update our app widget. That is by using the update app widget method, passing the app widget ID and along with remote views. Now the coding part for our app widget class has been completed. Now for displaying this widget, for identifying it, we have to insert this inside our manifest file. So before inserting it in the widget screen, when I go to the widget screen, we will get to see our widget. So here for setting the icon for our widget, here you can get to see that there are different icons for each widget. So for setting this icon for our widget, we have to create a new XML file, that is widget info file, which will help us to provide the icon, this type of icon. So for this we have to create a new XML file, that is the app widget provider. For creating that, we simply have to create a new directory, which is the XML, that is new directory, name it as XML. Inside this directory, we simply have to create a new XML file, that is new XML resource file, and we simply have to name it as a app widget info. Here root element, we have to change it as a app widget provider. So this will be used to display this type of icon inside this app widget provider. First of all, we will display the layout, that is initial keyguard layout, that will be our widget layout. After that, we have to display our initial layout, that will also be our widget layout. Now we have to display the minimum width, that will be 200 dp, minimum height, it will be also 200 dp. Now this will be our preview image, we will be adding it, so we will remove it as a blank. Then resize mode, that is horizontal as well as vertical. This will help to resize our widget according to our requirement, and widget category will be our home screen. So this widget we have to display inside our home screen, so that's why we are adding it as the widget category as home screen. Now for displaying this preview image, we have to add the new icon to our rival folder. So for that, we have to simply go to our browser, type of flaticon.com, and we can search for this icon. I have already downloaded the SVG format of this icon by clicking on this button. Now we simply go to our Android Studio. I will download it again, that is click on SVG, re-download, it will be downloaded. Now for inserting this icon, we simply have to go to the drawable folder, right click on it, then new. Here we have to select vector assets, then local SVG. We have to navigate to the folders where the icons has been downloaded. The icon name is Note. We will change the size as 24 dp and simply click on next. Finish. Now our icon has been imported, so we will import this icon here as well, that is Note icon. Along with that, we have to also add this icon to our manifest file so that our app icon will also get changed. So for this, we will change our icon here, that is drawable IC node. Along with that, we will also change round icon to the drawable IC node. Now our widget has been created. So to display this widget, we have to add this widget inside our manifest file, that is the receiver. So for creating a receiver, we simply have to go below to our activity and we simply have to create a receiver. In the receiver, we have to specify the widget app widget class name, that is our dot app widget, and we have to add label. The label will be for our sticky notes. Inside this we have to add our intent filter. Inside action we have to add the name, that is app widget update. After adding intent filter, we have to add the metadata for our widget, and here we have to add the name for our metadata as android.appwidget.provider. Inside this we have to add the resource. The resource will be our new app widget which we have created, that is inside our XML folder. Now we have created the receiver, so it will display the widget inside our widget info, that is here. Now after that we will move towards our activity underscore main.xml for creating the UI for our home screen, that is our main activity, this one screen. So we will go to our activity underscore main.xml. Inside this we will first of all remove the original text view, that is hello world. After that we will change the root layout to relative layout. Inside relative layout we will first of all create a edit text, specify width as match parent, height as wrap content, id as id edt. Then we will align it as a align parent top as true, background as back color. Here also we will change the background as back color. We will add text color as white, text color hint as white, hint as enter your node details. We will specify gravity as start. We will add input type as multi-line text and multi-line. Now we have created our edit text. Here we can get to see that it is currently a match parent. We will align it. Now after that we will create a floating action button which will be used to save our node. So we have created floating action button. We will specify width and height as wrap content. We'll add id as id pepseo, align parent bottom to true, align parent end to true. Now for this we also have to add the new icon. We will also add on click to this, that is save button, and we will create save button inside our main activity. This method is the on click for our floating action button. Now we will change the background tint, that is our fab color. For adding the icon to this button we will simply go to the drawable folder, right click on it, then new, vector assets. Here we have to select clip art and we have to search for the icon. We will select the save icon. Here we will change the color for our icon, that is white. Click on next and finish to create this icon. After that, we will add source for this icon. Now we have created the floating action button for saving. Now we have to create these three buttons. So we will create the linear layout for these three buttons. Width as match parent, height as wrap content, orientation as horizontal. We have to align parent bottom as true, weight sum as 3, and inside this linear layout we will be creating the three buttons. Specify width as 0 dp as we are specifying weight. So we will specify it 0 dp, then weight as 1. We will specify margin as 5 dp. Text as bold. First button will be for bold. Here we will specify the text style for bold as bold. Then text size as 18 sp. We will add id to this button. Id button bold. Similarly, we will create other two buttons. Here we will change the text as U, that is underline, and we will change id as. Here we will change as italic. Id button italic. Now we have to align this button to above upper linear layout. So we will add id to this linear layout, and we will align this above to our id ll2, and we will align this below to our floating action button. Here we have to remove as align parent bottom to align this button properly. Now we have to create one more linear layout. This will be for our text formatting, that is this layout, that is plus minus and text size. So for creating this, we simply create a new linear layout. Specify width as match parent, height as wrap content. We will align it above our IDLL2. Align start of layout to start of our floating action button. We will specify orientation as horizontal. Weight sum as 3. We will specify margin as 5 dp. Inside this, first of all, we will create a button. Width as 0 dp. Height as wrap content. Weight 1. Text as minus. Reduce size. Text size 18 sp. Text style as bold. Now similarly, we will create a text view which will display the current text size. Specify width as 0 dp. Height wrap content. Text as currently we will display as a 12. Weight as 1. text color white, text style as bold, text size 18 sp, text alignment as center. We'll specify ID as. After that, we will create another button, specify width as 0 dp, height as wrap content, weight as 1, text as plus, text color as white. Now we will set background for this linear layout, that is our back color, or we can set this simply to our button color, which we have used as a purple. Now our edit text, here we can get to see it is a wrap content. So we will align this above, that is we will add above to our linear layout. So we have to add this above to our this linear layout. So we will specify ID to this linear layout as ID LL1, and to align it above, inside the above we will simply specify the ID, that is LL1. Now here we can get to see that our edit text has been expanded to the bottom, that is above our button. Now we will initialize all of these variables. We will simply give a margin to the floating action button. Now we will initialize the variables. So first of all, we will initialize our edit text. One will be bold, underline, and italic. Now we have created the variables for our button. We will create one variable, that is our text view, which is the text size. Now we will initialize all our button, that all our variables. First of all, note edit text, increase size, underline button, and at last italic button. After that, we have to create a on-click listener for all of these buttons. That is, we have to add on-click listener for all our buttons. So for adding it, we simply add on-click listener. That is increase size button. Similarly, we will add on-click for all our buttons. That is decrease size button. Now for saving the note the data which we have added inside our edit text, we have to create a new Java class, and we will be storing all our text inside our new text file, that is .txt file. So for storing this data, we have to simply create a new class, that is new Java class. Simply go to our package name, new, and then Java class. Inside this, we have to name this class as sticky note, and inside this class, we will be creating a file for storing the data which we get from our edit text. So for this, we will simply create a string, that is get stick, and here we will pass our context. This method will be used to get the data from the file, that is the file which we are going to create. So first of all, we will create a variable for our file, that is here we will get the path for our file, and we will name our file as gfg.txt, that is .txt file. Inside this, we will be calling the string builder, we will be using try catch block to check whether it is any exception. Inside the try block, we will be using buffer reader, that is it will be used to read the file which we have created. And here we will be using file reader to read the events of our file, that is our file. Inside this, we will create a new string, that is line, and we will simply run a while loop. We will be reading this from our readLine method, and we will run this loop till it is not equal to null. Now inside, we will append this with the text, that is line. At last, we will close our, that is buffer reader, by calling the dot close method. Here we forgot to give the semicolon. Now here we have to return the text which we have stored inside our string, that is text.toString. After that, we have to create one more method which will be used to set the data to our file, that is our gfg.txt. So we will create a new method, that is setStick, which will set the data to our file. So we will pass the string here, that is text to be saved. Along with that, we will also pass the context. Now here we will create a new string, that is, and we will initialize this text to be saved. Now we have created the variable for our file output stream, which will be using to save the data to our gfg.txt file. So we will simply run a try catch block. Get application context that open file output, and here we will pass the file name as gfg.txt. Make sure that your file name which we are saving here, you should have to use this here, otherwise it may give you error that file name is not proper. We will setting as a mode private. After that, we simply call fos.write to write this to file, and we will call text.toBytes, that is getBytes method. Now we will add catch block. Inside this, we will check for our exception, and we'll simply print this. After that, we will use a finally, and inside this we will check if file output stream, that is if it is not equal to null. In this case, we will run a try catch block again and we will simply close our, that is file output stream. Now we will be using these two methods inside our main activity.java file. So inside our main activity.java file, after initializing all our variables in the, that is save button method, we will first of all saving our file. So to save our file, we first of all to create a, that is our variable for our node, that is the sticky node class which we have created. So for creating, that is sticky node, and inside our save button method which we have created using the, inside our XML file, we have created this method here. Inside this, we will simply call our node dot set stick. Inside this method, we will pass the data from our edit text, that is node edit text dot get text dot toString, and we will pass the context. After that, we have to update our widget. So we will be creating a new method to update our widget, that is update widget method. Inside this method, we will be updating our widget. So we will call this method here, and after updating, we will simply display a toast message, that is node has been updated. Now inside the update widget method, we will simply call app widget manager and create a variable for app widget manager, and we'll get the instance for our app widget manager. Here we have to pass the context. Now we simply have to call the remote views. And we have to pass the layout file which we have inflated. That is our widget layout. We have to create a new component, that is component name. And we have to pass the app widget class which we have created already. After that, we simply have to call the remote views dot set text view. Here we have to use dot set text view text, and we have to pass the ID for our app widget TV, that is TV widget, and we have to set the data from our nodes edit text, that is node edit dot get text dot toString. So this will set the data to our widget, and we simply have to call app widget manager dot update app widget. Inside it, we have to pass our widget, that is this widget, and we have to pass our remote views. This method will update the widget after updating the data which we updated inside our nodes. Now we have to add functionality to all of our buttons. So for this, first of all, we will create a variable, that is float, for the size of our text view, that is current size. After that, we will simply set the text view size, that is size TV dot set text. We will get the current size, that is here we will set the current size, and we will initialize current size as our current text view size. Node edt dot get text size. So this will initialize the current size of our text view. Now inside the increase size button, we will first of all increase the that is size TV dot set text. Here we will set our current size, that is incrementing after setting. After that we will increment our size, that is current size plus plus. After that we will update the text size of our edit text, that is set text size, and we will pass our current size. Similarly we have to do our for the reduce text size button, that is size TV dot set text current size minus minus nodes edit text dot set text size and current size. Now we have implemented the increase and decrease size button. Now we will move towards our bold button. So inside the bold button we will first of all inside the bold button we have to add the functionality for making our text bold. So inside our already built application we can get to see we have also added functionality so that our button get highlighted whether the text is bold or not. So for adding this functionality inside our bold button we first of all have to make italic button, that is italic button dot set text color, that is get resources dot get color. Here we have to change the text color for italic button as white. Along with that we have to change the background color for italic button as background color, get resources dot get color. Now we will check the typeface for our edit text, the text entered inside our edit text. Notes edit text dot get typeface dot is bold. We will check whether it is bold or not. If it is bold then we will make it as a default, otherwise we will make it as a bold. Set typeface, in this case we will make it as a default, and here we will set a bold button dot set text color, get resources dot get color. Here we will set text color as white and bold button dot set background color, get resources dot get color, and we will simply change the text color as purple 200. Now inside the else condition this will be called when the text is not already bold. So in this condition we simply have to change the text color for our bold button as set text color, that is get resources dot get color, and here we have to pass the color as a purple, that is this will be color for our button. In this condition we have to change the background color to white. Now to change the typeface we simply have to call nodes edit text dot set typeface. Inside this we will call typeface, and instead of default we will call default from style and typeface dot bold. Now we have added the on click listener for our bold button. We will minimize this increase button as we have completed. We will decrease button. Along with that we have completed the bold button. Now we will move towards the underline button for adding the underline to our text view. So inside underline button also we will first of all check whether it is an underline or not. So for checking it we simply have to use get paint flags method. If the paint flag is 8 then the text is not underlined. So in this case we will check if it is 8 or not. Inside this we will simply add underline button dot set text color, get resources dot get color, and we'll simply add the color as white. We have to set background color for our button, that get color. We'll change it to purple 200. Now we will be adding paint flags to our edit text, that is not edit text, EDT. We'll simply add get paint flags dot underline text flag. So this will be adding the underline to our, that is edit data inside and enter our edit text. In the else condition, we will be adding as an underline. So this is to remove the underline, and in the else condition we will be adding underline to our text flag. So we will be simply calling underline button dot set text color. Set background color. We will be setting background color for our button as white, and here we are setting note edit text dot set paint flags, and inside this we will simply call paint dot underline or text flag. Now we have added on click listener for our underline button to add the underline to our text view and remove the underline. Now we will move towards the adding the italic font to our button. So for adding the italic font, we simply have to first of all make the other buttons, that is bold button dot set text color, get resources dot get color, set background color, get resources. Now inside the bold button we will check whether it is a italic button, we will check whether it is already italic or not. So for checking it, we will simply call note edit text dot get typeface, and here we will check is italic. If it is already italic, then we will set the typeface as default. Set typeface as typeface dot default, and we will change the italic button dot set text color, get color as white, and we will change the background color inside else condition. This condition will be called when the text is not italic, so we will make it italic. So for this we will simply first of all change italic button dot set text color, get resources dot get color. Here we will be adding our text color, then set background color as white. After that we will add formatting to our edit text, set typeface, here we will change default from style, typeface, italic. Here we have added the on click listener for our italic button. Now we have completed the coding part. Now we will move towards installing our application. So we simply click on the run option. Now our application has been launched. We will see the output of the application. Here we can get to see our app has been installed. So we will simply add the note. Now we will use the text formatting, that is bold for making the bold, underline for making it underline, italic to make it italic. Now we will simply change the font. We will simply click on save to save this file. Now we will add the widget. And here we will save our note, that is welcome to Geeks for Geeks. We will click on save. The note has been updated to our app widget. Along with that, we can resize this widget according to our requirement. I hope you have get to know what we have built in this application. If you are having any doubts or comments, then please let me know in the comment section. Please like, share and subscribe to Geeks for Geeks YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.